Lesson 67. Catherine, our new word for this lesson is an enclitic like others, so it can lose its accent.
Mm-hmm.
If you see it listed in a dictionary, you'll see the accent on the second syllable, so it sounds like este. But of course, that accent can move or go away because it is an enclitic. But we have a couple more things to talk about. Our readers will notice that for the meaning of this word, we have you are, and then we have plural in parentheses.
Mm-hmm.
So we're drawing a contrast here between a and este. That's epsilon iota. That word is for when you're saying you are to just one person. But este is when you're saying you are to more than one person. But the English word you can generate a little bit of confusion because it doesn't exactly correspond, wouldn't you say?
Yes, exactly. And this is due to a quirk in English history where we used to have two words as a language for you singular and you plural. By we, I mean the English language before the 1600s and a little bit into the 1600s, but it was starting to change by then.
So you're talking about Middle English, like Chaucer?
Chaucer would have it, but also even you see it in Shakespeare. So Middle English, early modern English, that kind of era, you're going to see two words for you. One is the kind of thee, thou, thy family of pronouns, which those refer to one person, thee, thou, or thy. And then in referring to a plural group, ye, you, your. So that group referred to more than one person. That was the plural pronoun, and then thee, thou, thy was the singular pronoun family. Over time, because of various social conventions and things that we won't get into right now, thee, thou, thy fell out of fashion and was replaced completely by ye, you, which then was completely replaced by you. So now we have this very ambiguous you that can be one or more than one, but we didn't used to. And a lot of languages still don't.
The fact that the English word you can be referring to one person or more than one person, that kind of sets us apart from several other languages that I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in French, you have a different word for singular you and plural you. Also in German, Latin, ancient Greek, which we'll talk about here in a moment. Also Russian.
Doesn't Spanish also have a plural you?
Yes, also Spanish. It's a little different depending on if you're in the Americas or if you're speaking Spanish in Spain. But yes, they also have that. So the basic idea here is that in English, the word you can be singular or plural, and so it makes it ambiguous. It's hard to know if you're addressing one person or more than one person. If I say to one person, you are my friend, that's perfectly good English. Or if I have a group of my friends and I say, you are my friends, that's also perfectly good English. The word you can be singular or plural. But in other languages, they have a separate word for singular you and a separate word for plural you. And ancient Greek is one of those languages. If you want to say you are to one person, it's a. You are to more than one person, it's este.
So even in the verb, it's different.
Right, and we're going to talk more about pronouns in upcoming lessons. We also have separate pronouns for those in ancient Greek. So in English, since we don't have a pronoun that's for plural you, we try to make them up. We try to create them in colloquial speech. And down south, as we say here in the book, down south where I grew up, we would always say y'all. Sometimes you hear people from New York or New Jersey, they might say use guys.
Mm-hmm. Or even just use. I've also heard use by itself.
And that's perfectly understandable
Yeah.
to try to make those things up because they're trying to fill a gap. They want to clearly express that they're talking to more than one person. So in order to avoid confusion, in order to help the readers of my books tell the difference between singular you and plural you, I always use y'all for the second person plural. That is for plural you. And in my books, I use the word y'all for plural you, partially because it's just how I grew up and I'm used to it. But also, I would argue that because of popular culture, the word y'all is understood by everyone these days.
Right. So I live down south, and so I hear y'all and I use y'all all the time. But even when I wasn't living down south, I knew what y'all was. I knew what it meant. Everyone around me did as well because of popular culture, but also just it's you and all. So it's logical to say, oh, okay, y'all.
And with mass media and the internet and YouTube, we're all watching the same movies. We're all hearing the same newscasters. We're all hearing the same popular songs. For example, I hear all the time in rap, I hear the use of the word y'all. All the time. Like, y'all gonna do this, y'all gonna do that. If a performer comes out on stage and says to the audience, "What's up, y'all?" Everyone knows what that means.
Right, yeah.
So the word y'all really, I would argue, has just come into such common use that I think everyone knows what it means and what it refers to. So anyway, the point here is that in the answer key, when we talk about singular you, we're going to say you, Y-O-U. But when we're talking about second person plural, that is the plural you, we're going to say y'all. So for one person, you are. For talking to multiple people, we'll say y'all are. And so really the translation for our new word for this lesson, for este, the translation that we will put in the answer key is y'all are. And that's to help you differentiate that from the singular so that you can have a one-to-one correspondence with the English words that translate the Greek words. So just for practice, let's go through a few of these exercises and help our listeners work through a few of these uses of este. In number 1, we just have the verb este. All by itself, it's going to mean y'all and are. All together in one word, it communicates y'all are. So for number 1, the answer is y'all are.
For number 2, este didaskaloi. This one is going to be este, y'all are, didaskaloi, teachers. So y'all are teachers. Because there's no article, it'll just be y'all are teachers, not y'all are the teachers.
A similar situation in number 3, este means y'all are, iatroi means doctors. So number 3 says y'all are doctors. Again, we're talking to more than one person. So, Catherine, let's contrast that with exercise 7. In exercise 7, we have the singular form of este, which is a. So, ho strategos means the general, and then a means you are when only talking to one person. So that's like singular you are. So number 7 says you are the general.
And so everything agrees because everything is singular.
Exactly, because in exercise 2 and 3, the noun was plural to agree with the plural verb. But in number 7, we have a singular verb and a singular noun. So in this lesson, we're focusing on the difference between a, which is singular you are, versus este, which is plural you are, or the way we're expressing it in this book is y'all are.